Hey everybody, welcome to Unbreakable. We felt like this episode needed a little pre-introduction disclaimer, since this episode could be considered a bit controversial to some. And just a reminder to all of you listening, this podcast is based on personal experiences. And we're really beyond pleased to have our guest, as she is brave enough to share her story with us. With that being said, okay?
Absolutely. I mean, it takes a lot of guts, really, to talk about this, because there are two camps, basically, where one camp is saying we need to take pain medications out of the doctor's hands because they were overprescribed, and long-term pain medication use can cause pain. And then there's the other camp that says, chronic pain patients are patients. They're not addicts, and they deserve to be treated as patients, and their pain deserves to be treated. They should not have to live in pain. And completely understandable. This
Absolutely.
whole topic has just gotten, a lot of people are suffering, and just quickly, that unfortunately can lead to suicide because that's the only way out for them. They feel like there's no other way to escape the pain. So this is a really serious issue, and why we're giving you this trigger warning. But with that said,
we're super excited.
Our first guest episode. So with that said, I hope you enjoy it because we're so excited.
Yay. Listen in.
Okay, here we go.
Lori, welcome.
Thank you.
So good to have you. Our topic today is chronic illness and pain medication,
which is very controversial. I know that we're going to get some mixed reactions to this podcast. There are two camps. One camp has decided that painkillers being restricted is cruel in its punishment to people who absolutely need them, and that they're being punished for people who, were selling them on the street. And then there's the other camp that believes that we really can do without them, and there are other natural means, that they are really dangerous, and that people are dying because they're taking them in a way that's not prescribed. Mm-hmm. So, saying all of that, we are not in any position in either way. That's not what this is about. We're here to talk to Lori about her personal experience, and that we're not suggesting either way. And again, this is not medical advice. It's based on someone's personal experience. So Lori, how many surgeries did you actually have that got you into a position where you needed to take them regularly?
I've had about 17 surgeries total.
Oh my God.
Wow. What types of surgeries did you have?
I've had anywhere from just like the C-section and appendix, carpal tunnel, but I've had 4 major back surgeries, and I'm facing my 5th one.
Oh, wow. And so when the back surgery started happening, did you go through a series of different pain medications, or have you always been on the same one?
I've been on Norco for about 27 years. But, I mean, I've tried Demerol and morphine, the tablets, and they've had me on Percocets, but it always comes back to Norco. Mm-hmm.
And that one works the best for you?
No, actually that one doesn't work at all.
Oh.
Because I've been on it for so long. But I can't get a doctor to listen to me. Because if I want anything stronger, then I have to go through a pain clinic. And if I go through a pain clinic, then I have to have facet blocks or epidural blocks. And those do not work. They just cause more and more pain.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. You have to have what at the pain clinic?
Epidurals or facet blocks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's where they put the needle in your back and you're awake.
Oh my God.
So I'm good.
The fact that you have been on Norco for so long, the doctor must understand that there's a tolerance involved.
Yes, and she's trying to wean me down, but I refuse to let her because, and it took me a long time to do this, but I'll admit that I am addicted to them now. So it's kind of hard because when I'm in pain, I take them. When I'm not in pain, I still take them because my body needs them.
Right.
My head is telling me I need this pill.
Well, after 20,
and I don't get high from them.
After 27 years, your body's dependent. So, I mean, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't get high from them like some people do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing that happens to me is I'll talk a lot, and I might end up like sweating a lot because of it. Like I'll start sweating for no reason. So it's not like everybody else has to have them for that, for the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Or I know people like to cut them up and snort them or chew them because they said it gets them the relief faster.
Oh, wow.
There is no relief. I don't have any relief with them.
So she's trying to wean you off of them. What does she believe will be accomplished with that? What will happen with your pain at that point?
I don't know what she's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She thinks my pain's just going to disappear. It's not. I'll be in pain for the rest of my life.
So you take the pills and it doesn't even dull the pain a little bit. Have you ever not been on the pills to see what the difference is? I know that you said it doesn't work completely, but does it help some?
I'm sure it helps some. There was a time when I was between doctors because of a move, and I didn't have any for about 4 to 6 months. But during that time, I mean, I was able to do everything that I can't do now. But I don't know if it's because my back has gotten so much worse that I really can't do this stuff, or if I have actually put it in my head, okay, you can't do it. Don't even try.
Right.
Just, take another pill.
Right.
And I've gotten to the point where she wants me to take one pill every 6 to 8 hours. And there's the 7.5s. And I'll take 3 at a time.
Oh, wow. That's a huge cutback.
Well, now, if the pain is very bad, I have been known to take 5 at a time. And that does get rid of my pain.
Which is dangerous too, though, because doesn't that have...
It is very dangerous.
It has ibuprofen or something mixed in with it, right?
Acetaminophen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, so, I mean, I'm killing myself, and I know this. But I can't just stop. It's at that point. It's sad.
So would you say that your dependence, which is perfectly normal for anybody who's been on any medication for a period of time, would you say that your dependence has crossed over into addiction?
Yes. And it took me a long time to admit that I was addicted. Because I get $120 a month, which is a lot. My husband also gets $120 for reasons, and he hardly takes any of his, so I can have mine. So I can have them.
So basically,
I'm looking at
you're taking
$220 a month.
Yeah. And are you still getting low, or does that?
Oh, by the time that he gets a refill and I get a refill, it could be to where I only have like 3 or 4 left to last me 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
And I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm panicking.
Well, yeah.
And my kids have watched me go through this, and it's horrible. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what else to do.
Right.
I mean, it has brought me into depression, which has, and here's something, and I don't know if this has happened to anybody else, but I found out that the depression has caused suicidal thoughts. Mm. Of course, it happens.
Yep, absolutely.
But my suicidal thoughts, and when I have tried it, has never been to where, okay, let me take all my Norco.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that far because I think, what happens if it doesn't work? And then I'm out of pain meds.
Wow.
So I'll sit there and think of different ways. It's bad.
Wow.
I shouldn't, because I think I know deep in my heart I'm not going to die of whatever I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to have my Norco. I have to. It's not a way to live.
So, I mean, I guess it's good that you won't resort to using that, because that would be a terrible way to, I think, a very painful way to wake up and have your stomach, be corroded with all that medication. So I'm really happy to hear that you're not one of the people that would do that, because it seems like it sounds like an easy way, but it's not, obviously.
No.
So
There is no easy way to death.
no. So did you talk to your doctor about that, or did you decide not to?
Oh, no. No, I can't. If I say anything about being addicted or suicidal thoughts, I have all my pain medication taken away. I will not get anything.
And that's really sad, because it puts you in a really bad position.
Yes.
Right. I mean, then you're pretty much, what choice do you have?
Yeah. I mean, I am grateful that I haven't turned to anything else like cocaine or meth or
Right.
I don't even know the names of them. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a friend of mine who was in a similar situation, but she didn't have access to extra, so she started going onto the street and buying them, and then got into harder stuff, and eventually had to go on Suboxone, which is medication that the government puts out, from Big Pharma, to basically help people with addiction, but it's just as addictive as anything else out there. So it's another problem.
Yeah, because people will be on that for 4 or 5 years trying to control it. So I mean, it's when you were talking earlier about how, some people think that you can just go all natural.
Right.
You can't. It doesn't work for everybody.
No.
Like CBD oil works for some people, or hemp oil, or whatever you want to call it, and it doesn't work for the next person. So people have to think, just because it works for them, it's not going to work for Joe Smith down the road.
That's true. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I think more states need to make medical marijuana more available and more affordable for people, because I do believe that that's where we should be headed.
In my state, just to get a medical marijuana card, you have to pay $100.
Oh, that's cheap compared to here.
Yeah, and well, that's what I heard, but you shouldn't have to pay to get this card.
I agree.
If you need it, they should give it to you.
Your doctor should be able to just write you a prescription, and you should just be able to go and get it.
Yes.
Right. But this is the other thing you might not be aware of, at least in my state. You get the license, you pay that money, and then every 6 months you have to pay $75 for a follow-up visit because no insurance covers it.
Right.
And then you have to pay to renew your license again every year.
See, that's just...
So it, on top of the medicine stuff, it gets extremely expensive.
It's wrong. And I have tried medicinal marijuana, and it does work.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm not going to sit here and say I've never tried and smoked pot or anything. And the difference between the two is the medicinal, you're still with it. You understand everything that's going on, but you have no pain. And it is so wonderful. But to get a doctor where I live, there's one doctor in the area, and it takes months and months to get in.
I really, really wish you could do that. I mean, I think that the situation that you're in, it would probably help you immensely to have that, to make the transition.
Absolutely.
But here, I talked to my doctor about it, and she will not send me anywhere because she said that with the marijuana you end up eating, and I'm trying to control my weight as it is. So she doesn't feel as though it's healthy for me.
Oh my God.
Your doctor doesn't know what she's talking about.
Thank you.
Because there's different strains, is what they call it. Different types of, different strains of medical marijuana.
Okay.
And like I lost over 100 pounds since I've been on medical marijuana. So for somebody to say you can't have it because you're going to eat too much, it does not know what they're talking about. You have to find the right strain for you.
Right.
Plus, I mean, I'm sitting here infuriated just at the fact that your doctor wants to take you off pain medication, leave you in pain, and won't give you medical marijuana because she's worried you'll gain weight. I mean, seriously?
Yes.
That's a lame excuse. Very lame excuse.
I agree.
I mean, pain itself is damaging to the body. It's a medical condition. It needs to be addressed. And it's not your fault that you're in this position. It is not your fault.
No, not at all. But
and that's the beauty of, again, I hate to go back, but the medical marijuana, the beauty of it is that it doesn't just help you, it doesn't just take away your pain, but it helps, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it almost like helps you build up a tolerance to the pain. Like it just becomes less pain, and then that of course helps with your mental state because you're not always depressed and sad.
right.
Because that's what pain does to you, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You were saying too, though, Lori, that there was other benefits that you were getting from the painkillers. Like it gives you more energy.
Oh yeah. But then like I said, I have it in my head. I still can't do anything. So I have all this energy built up, and I'll go like in my kitchen too. And I'm on restrictions. I'm not even allowed to empty a dishwasher.
Oh, wow.
But I'll go in there because I'll think, I can empty the dishwasher. I'm out of pain. And the minute I start doing it, the pain becomes unbearable. So I'm like in a catch-22. I can't go for walks because if I walk more than a half a block, I'm in sheer pain again. And my doctor says, we have to get out there and walk. Okay, well, tell me how. Because I can't manage this pain. They're not managing it for me. I'm over-medicating myself to try to get through a day.
I mean, it sounds,
something's gotta
it
give.
sounds to me like you're not on the proper medication. If they were to give you something stronger, it would help the pain situation, and you may not be going through this situation where you're running out of meds early and, because you're just trying to manage your pain.
Yes. And I would love to have a day where I didn't have to take any pills. I would love that day. I would love to have just one day to where I took absolutely no medication.
Yeah.
But
don't we always?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I went off,
But,
went off pain meds. I was really scared because I thought, oh my God, how am I going to function? And everyone kept telling me, hey, there is this effect where after you've been on pills for a certain amount of time, it causes more pain. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. When you're taking pain pills and you're always in pain, like that thought just made me so angry that someone would even say that to me. But because I had been on medication that helped me personally reduce the inflammation, which was causing my pain, by the time I went off the pain medication, my pain was much lower. And I did find that going off them helped me. Now, I know my situation is completely different than yours because you've had all these surgeries on your back. And it sounds to me like you're always going to have some level of pain.
Yes. And that's okay. I can take some levels. And my son tells me all the time that, Mom, it's all in your head. Those pills have you thinking that you're in pain and you're not. No, they don't. I feel the pain. I know, pain.
Yeah.
I've had it. So there's people who don't understand and they feel as though, we'll get off of them and you'll be so much better. Well, look at my way of life now on them. How's it going to be any better off of them?
Right. No.
So it's, I don't know. I just, one of those, it sucks.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. It totally sucks.
What would you like to see happen?
Oh, I'd love for me to come off the pain medication and be able to handle it myself.
Yeah.
Because I know with every pill I take, it's hurting my liver.
Yeah.
And my stomach and, so many other organs. Realistically,
that's
like
the thing they don't talk about.
Yeah. It's killing me. And it's not good on my heart. Okay, so I'm going to get a little personal. Most people enjoy having sex, which sex is a wonderful thing. I have so much pain, I don't enjoy it. I will sit there and, this is probably going to be too much information, but I will cry and in my head say, please end, please stop, because, my poor husband doesn't understand this. He does, but I don't let him know because then it makes him feel bad because he feels as though he's hurting me. So your sex life ends up going downhill from pain. Then you have to medicate again to try to stop the pain. And then your emotions are all over the place. You never win. Chronic pain, you never win at.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was they had me on oxycodone. So I'm like shocked that you're not on something heavier like oxycodone.
I mean, I've been on oxycodone for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe you're not actually, but
no.
I remember it giving me tons of energy. I remember it making me feel, I could wake up feeling horrible. And if I took the medication, I would just feel so good, like mentally,
Yeah.
So I can really relate to a lot of what you're saying. It's a really hard roller coaster to be on.
Now, our opiate addiction is so bad in this state that the only way I can go higher than Norco 7.5s is to go, like I said, through a pain clinic.
Mm-hmm.
But the first month at the pain clinic, at least with the one where I'm by, you have to go on like gabapentin.
That's a joke.
It is. It doesn't do anything.
It's just for nerve pain. So I don't see how that would help.
Yes. So for 1 full month, I'm without any type of pain medication. And of course, they do the urine test to make sure that you don't put some in there somewhere. So for a month, I'm basically in my chair, balled up, crying.
Yeah.
Because I cannot even walk to the bathroom.
Well, that and they're just ripping you off the meds. So you're going through withdrawal. You're taking a medication that's really not going to help. I mean, I just don't understand how they think that this is a good solution.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could take just one pill and it would help me for the whole day.
That would be.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, because they're giving you drugs for breakthrough pain. So I would think that you'd be on something that's also long-term, one of the like morphine or something that's supposed to help all day. And then they give you the breakthrough pain for, when there's those moments that are just really horrible. But it seems like they're just treating you with the breakthrough pain and nothing else.
Well, I was on morphine at one time and it didn't even help.
Yeah.
It was the extended release. It did not help.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if maybe this next surgery will be better.
Mm-hmm.
But now my neurosurgeon doesn't give anything for pain. He says I have to go through my doctor.
Oh my God.
Hey everybody, welcome back from our break. Lori, I have one final question for you, if you don't mind. What is one thing that you would like to say to people in in similar situations such as yours?
If anybody is in a situation like mine, to where you're over medicating, and you know that you shouldn't be, get help. It's not a life to live.
Mm-hmm.
Great advice.
If your doctor won't do anything, then find another one.
Oh, yes. Good one.
Great advice.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate it so much.
I know. I think it's really brave to share your story, and I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. So thank you so much, Lori.
Thank you, and I hope it does help a lot.
I know it was really hard for you to share a lot of that, and we deeply appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
And we cannot wait to have you on again, because I know there's other subjects that you want to talk about. So that'll be awesome in the future.
We look forward to it.
Yeah. For me, I just want to kind of reiterate that people being treated like drug seekers when they have real pain I just can't believe that's still happening. The fact that they took all of the pills off the streets was great, but at the same time, it just created a huge heroin epidemic, which is a whole nother subject. And it left chronic pain patients with nothing. And they're still being treated like drug seekers. And unfortunately, this is leaving people with worsening conditions, because prolonged pain actually does a lot to your body over time.
It can be deadly.
Oh yeah, and emotionally, could you imagine? I mean, I've been in pain, so I know every day it wears on you, and some of them have just decided that they cannot bear it. And nobody should ever come to that point. A doctor should be wanting to treat the whole person. Pain should not be an issue. That it should be treated, period. End of story. So I'm so sorry for people that have been wrapped up in this epidemic, which really wasn't an epidemic. They're separate issues, if you ask me. But
I agree. I think we could do a whole topic just talking about this, you and I.
Really, absolutely. Yeah.
And maybe we will.
Yeah.
But it really is. I mean, anybody who's ever gone to a pain clinic, anybody, I mean, it is not a pleasant experience. I mean, you do not feel like a patient by any means. There's
And I mean,
so
and
many
there's a
things.
difference. There's a difference between dependency and addiction too, which,
And that's true. That's true too. That's true.
I mean, so yeah. So anyway,
like I said, we could start a whole other episode, and we can't do that. We're trying to tie this up. So,
but we just want everybody out there to realize that we do understand both sides.
Absolutely do.
And
yes.
we do believe that you have every right to be treated for your pain and be taken seriously.
Absolutely. We just, please, be careful. Make smart decisions, even in the pain. I know it's hard, but, don't go to worse things. Don't go down the worst path. Just keep fighting for help, the right help. That's all I can suggest.
Yeah. As a group, we can do a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what is the question of the week this week?
Question of the week this week is, how did you find purpose and meaning in your life now after becoming a spoonie, basically?
Right. Yeah, that's quite the question.
Yeah.
For myself, it was a hard process because I spent a lot of time trying to return to my old life. So I think it takes a lot of people, and it's funny because a lot of the women that I met that had gone before me said, the first thing you have to do is accept your disease. And that was the hardest part, but they all said, that's what you got to do. Once I got to that point, then it was like, okay, now what am I going to do? What can I do? And for me, it was helping other people and helping animals. I do volunteer, but really my passion became helping other people like people helped me. So that became like a real meaning for my life. What
That's
about you?
awesome. Well, in a lot of ways, I'm still kind of searching because it's as your vision, slowly deteriorates. It's kind of a different thing, At one time, I was making leather products and running a small business, but for me right now, I'm a lot more limited. But for me, I mean, I realize that I can support and help people just from where I am, and that's something that people that truly know me seem to love and appreciate. They know that they can talk to me whenever they need to, in here or whatever. And just little things. I love to cook. It makes me exhausted, but oh God, I love to cook. Seeing the smile on people's faces. I'm not very artistic. I wish I was. I'm trying to get back into writing, which we'll see where that goes.
Right. But, yeah, hobbies are really important too. I do a lot of creative stuff.
But I want my writing to be more than a hobby, to be honest. Yeah.
I think that relationships, are probably one of the most meaningful things we can have in our lives. So
Having people is,
every little bit that you can do to help another person means so much. It means more than you might realize. So you may be disabled physically, but there's so much you can give. You can turn that into a positive. And there's still a lot you can do. So don't be discouraged.
Absolutely. Before we get to the topic of the week, I want to give a quick shout out to because it's Mental Awareness Week. So, end the stigma.
Yes.
We're with you.
Absolutely. And the topic next week is fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, which Elle has a lot more experience with. So it'll be great to hear from her about her experiences with that.
A lot more experience. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And also want to remind you guys that we're on all social media. Please send us your questions and, give us your likes and your love, because otherwise you're not going to see what we're doing, and we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And we want to reach you guys. I know. So, and we want to talk. So, we're, as you all know, we're talkers. So
absolutely. We love those random questions, thrown at us, whether it's online or privately, whatever. So.
And our quote of the week is, for people who live with chronic pain, this seeps into all facets of their life like a slow poison. It disables one function after another, switches off mental and emotional connections, and corrupts all the rules of life.
So very, very true. Very true. So that's it for today, everybody. To all my
pretty heavy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was. But hopefully, you learned maybe me a little bit more understanding, empathetic. That's what we can hope from that. And just keep fighting, voting for. That's the only way things are going to change is if we speak out together.
That's right.
So,
just remember, you're not alone.
Absolutely.
You're never alone.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.